Hi everyone, I'm going to introduce the basics of ball oki and show you a 50-50 mix-up that works at all levels of play. We'll focus on the red ball oki today, as it's the go-to option for okizeme. It has 3 hits, which lets you meterlessly convert into a kick loop, which itself loops into another red ball. So red ball is going to be your default oki option. Other than the kick loop, there's 2 other main ways to set up knockdown into ball oki. One being sweep, or 2D, which you can cancel into red ball. And the other way is with the ground throw. Like so. I recommend practicing ball oki after a throw setup because the throw knockdown always gives the ideal spacing for ball oki, while 2D and jump H won't always give you the best spacing, and it changes how you handle the ball. Let's go over training mode settings really quickly. First, in stance, you want to set this to crouching, set block settings to everything, and block switching to disable. This simulates a crouching opponent so that we can practice our overhead mix-up. And I like to choose Soul as my training dummy because every character has different wake-up timings in Xrd, but Soul has a nice average wake-up timing to practice with. Alright, so let's try the oki out. So first, we want to throw and make a rep ball. And notice how I didn't press any direction yet. We input 236H and then return to neutral. Don't press any direction yet. The ball input should be timed as the opponent hits the floor, like that. And you'll notice that if you do it right, the ball hits behind Soul 1 time. If you do it too late, it hits in front of Soul and pushes him away. Or it might hit behind him twice, like that, giving you 1 less ball hit to work with. And we want to have all 3 ball hits for our mix-up, so try to work on timing the ball so that it just hits once. Next, we're going to bring the ball back towards Haehyun by holding down back as the ball hits Soul. So we're at neutral, so 236H and then neutral, and as the ball hits Soul for the first time, that's when you press and hold down back. So once again, like that. Something to note is that when you hold down back or back, there is no difference in how the ball moves. So you can do this, and the ball will be controlled the exact same way as if you were holding down back. The ball only cares about the horizontal movement. Alright, so we kind of figured out the ball control, but we need to now mix up Soul. And the main mix-up is centered around her 5H overhead. This has 2 hits. The first hit is a mid, so Soul will block it, but the second hit it is overhead. So, like so. So the first hit is blocked, but the second is an overhead. If you space it though, the first hit whiffs, and you get an instant overhead, a very fast one. And this affects her oki because the rep ball pushes Soul back close enough, like that, where even when he was crouching, he got hit by the first hit of 5H. And if they recognize that, they can stand block the second hit. Like so. Like that. They'll just stand block the second hit. To give us the spacing where 5H will whiff the first hit, we're going to add a 2K, so a 2K, and then a 5H. Like so. Now if you notice the inputs for that sequence, you might have noticed that I was doing 1K and 4H. And this is the key to the oki. We're combining the ball movement with down, back, and back, and 2K and 5H by inputting 1K and 4H because Haehyun doesn't have a separate 1K or 4H. And so you combine everything like so, and you can get the ball movement and the mix-up at the same time. And all I'm doing there, I'm holding down, back, or back the entire time. So the back input doesn't change. All you're moving is releasing the down input for the 5H, like that. So that was our overhead option, but we need to mix between a low option. So in this case, it'll be 2S. And with the ball control, it'll be 1S, so 1K, 1S, or 1K, 4H, like that. So this time I'm going to demonstrate the low option, but instead of just showing the low option, this time I'm going to confirm a successful low hit into a kick loop, which will also loop back into a rep ball and show you the entire sequence and how it flows. One of the nice things about Repressure is that at ideal spacings, a lot of reversals actually whiff, like that. So it's pretty nice that the initial part of the Oki is reversal safe, but what if they're mashing DP or throw in the middle? I'm gonna block the first part, but I'm not gonna block. I'm gonna DP where the 5H is coming. So that makes it so that they don't even have to hold the 5H. This is where 2K2S I think is valuable, and why I recommend 2K2S as the low option. 2K2S is actually gapless, and you can force the opponent to respect you by doing 2K2S. So this time I'm going to have Haehyun do 2K2S, and I'm going to mash after 2K like last time. Do you see how I got hit there? It's because I'm not blocking and I'm inputting something stupid, but because it's gapless, the DP doesn't come out, so I just get hit during the input. And this is how you force them to respect you before you start throwing in the 5Hs. Alright, so 2K2S is how we stop mashing, but what if they just block the mix-up? In that case, I like to repressure with 2P or close slash. These are both plus and block, and there's a lot of options out of them, so the world is your oyster once you get this pressure started as well. And that should cover the basics. I didn't want to talk about every situation, things like faultless defense, burst, dead angle, instant blocking, blitz, things like that, because they require different responses and ball control, and it does get a little bit long, so I'll cover that in a follow-up video. But yeah, hope this video helps. Thanks so much for the support, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.